Jai Radha, Jai Kunja Bihari, Gopishana Vallabha, Girivaradhari, Jai Radha, Jai Kunja Bihari, Gopishana Vallabha. Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunja Bihari, Gopijana Vallabha, Girivaradhari, Jai Radha, Jai Kunja Bihari, Gopijana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jai Kunja Bihari Yashoda Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jai Kunja Bihari Yashoda Yamunatira Vanachari Jai Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yugadharma Shri Harinam Sankirtana Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Samveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Nitai Gaur Premanande Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 5, Lord Rishabhadev's teachings, text 21 and 22. Bhuteshu viruddhya uduttamatte शरिस्पृपस्तेषु सबोधनिष्ठा ततो मनुष्या प्रमतास्ततोऽपि गन्धर्वसिद्धा विबुधानुगाये देवासुरेभ्यो भगवत्प्रधाना दक्षादयो ब्रह्मसुत्तास्तु तेषाम् भवपरासोत विरिञ्च वीर्या समत्परोऽहं द्विजदेवदेव भूतेषु विरुद्ध्या उदुत्तमाये शरीसृपस्तेषु सबोधनिष्ठा ततो मनुष्या प्रमतास्ततोऽपि गन्धर्वसिद्धा विबुधानुगाये देवासुरेभ्यो भगवत्प्रधाना दक्षादयो ब्रह्मसुतास्तु तेषाम् भवपरासोत विरिञ्च वीर्या सा मत्परोऽहं द्विजदेवदेव. शरीषपास्तेषु सबोधनिष्ठा ततो मनुष्या प्रमतास्ततोऽपि गर्वसिद्धा विबुधानुगाये देवासुरेभ्यो भगवत्प्रधाना. Any Matajis? Word to word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Bhuteshu, among things generated with and without symptoms of life. Virudbhya, then the plants. Uduttamaha, far superior. A, those who. Sharishripaha, moving entities like worms and snakes. Teshu, of them. Sabodhanishta, those who have developed intelligence. Tata, then them. Manusha, human beings. Pramatha, the ghostly spirits. Tatapi, better than them. Gandharva, inhabitants of Gandharva Loka, appointed singers, the planets of the demigods. Siddhaha, the inhabitants of Siddhaloka, who have all mystic powers. Vibuddha Anuga, the Kinnaras. A, those who. Deva, the demigods. Asurebhya, then the Asuras. Magavat Pradhana, headed by Indra. Daksha Adaya, beginning with Daksha. Brahma Sutaha, the direct sons of Brahma. Tu, then. Tesham, of them. Bhava, Lord Shiva. Paraha, the best. Sa, he, Lord Shiva. Ata, moreover. Virinchavirya, producing from Lord Brahma. Sa, he, Brahma. Matparaha, my devotee. Aham, I. Dijadeva Deva, a worshipper of the Brahmanas or the Lord of the Brahmanas. Translation: of the two energies manifest, spirit and dull matter, beings possessing living force, vegetables, grass, trees, and plants are superior to dull matter, stone, earth, etc. Superior to non moving plants and vegetables are worms and snakes which can move. Superior to worms and snakes are animals who have developed intelligence. Superior to animals are human beings. And superior to human beings are ghosts because they have no material bodies. And superior to ghosts are the Gandharvas. And superior to them are the Siddhas. And superior to the Siddhas are the Kinnaras. And superior to them are the Asuras. Superior to the Asuras are the demigods. And of the demigods, Indra, the king of heaven, is supreme. Superior to Indra are the direct sons of Lord Brahma, sons like King Daksha, and supreme among Brahma's sons is Lord Shiva. Since Lord Shiva is the son of Lord Brahma, Brahma is considered superior. But Brahma is also subordinate to me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because I am inclined to the Brahmanas are best of all. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadramai, Shri Shri Gaur Nithai Ki Jai. Purport: in this verse, the Brahmanas are given a position superior to that of the Supreme Lord. The idea is that the government should be conducted under the guidance of the Brahmanas. Although Rishabdev recommended his eldest son Bharat as emperor of the earth, he still had to follow the instructions of the Brahmanas in order to govern the world perfectly. The Lord is worshipped as Brahmanya Deva. The Lord is very fond of devotees or Brahmanas. This does not refer to the so called caste Brahmanas but to qualified Brahmanas. A Brahmana should be qualified the 8 qualities mentioned in text 24, such as Samodhama, Satya, and Titiksha. The Brahmanas should always be worshipped, and under their guidance, the ruler should discharge his duty and rule the citizens. Unfortunately, in this age of Kali, the executive is not selected by very intelligent people, nor is he guided by qualified Brahmanas. Consequently, chaos results. The mass of people should be educated in Krishna consciousness so that, according to the democratic process, they can select a first class devotee like Bharat Maharaj to head the government. The head of the state is headed by qualified Brahmanas, everything is completely perfect. In this verse, the evolutionary process is indirectly mentioned. The modern theory that life evolves from matter is to some extent supported in this verse because it is stated Bhuteshu Virudbhya. That is, the living entity evolved from vegetables, grass, plants, and trees which are superior to dull matter. In other words, matter also has a potential to manifest living entities in the form of vegetables. In this sense, life comes out of matter, but matter also comes out of life. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 10.8, Aham sarvasva prabho mattas sarvam pravartate. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. There are two energies, material and spiritual, and both originally come from Krishna. Krishna is the supreme living being. Although it may be said that in the material world a living force is generated from matter, it must be admitted that originally matter is generated from the supreme living being. Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. The conclusion that everything, both material and spiritual, is generated from the supreme being. From the evolutionary point of view, perfection is reached when the living entity attains the platform of a Brahmana. Brahmana is a worshipper of the Supreme Brahman. The Supreme Brahman worships the Brahmana. In other words, the devotee is subordinate to the Supreme Lord. The Lord is inclined to see to the satisfaction of his devotee. Brahmana is called Dvijadeva. The Lord is called Dvijadeva Deva, is the Lord of Brahmanas. The evolutionary process is also explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 19, wherein it is said that there are two types of living entities, moving and non-moving. Among moving entities, there are birds, beasts, aquatics, human beings, and so on. Of this, the human beings are supposed to be the best, but there are few. Of these small numbers of human beings, there are many low-class human beings like Mlechas, Pulindas, Bauddhas, and Sabaras. The human being elevated enough to accept the Vedic principles is superior. Among those who accept the Vedic principles, generally known as Varnashrama, presently known as the Hindu system, few actually follow these principles. Of those who actually follow the Vedic principles, most perform fruitive activity or pious activity for elevation to a high position. Manushanam sahasreshu Kaschidetati siddhaye yatadam api siddhanam kaschin. Out of many attached to fruitive activity, one may be a gnani, that is, one philosophically inclined and superior to karmis. Yatadam api siddhanam kaschin maveti tattata. Out of many gnanis, one may be liberated from material bondage. Out of many millions of liberated gnanis, one may become a devotee of Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salake Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatadeshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurasve Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुल्लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपः तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरून् दीनतारिणम्। हरे कृष्ण। So I seek the blessings of all the devotees here so that I can speak on this verse. Prabhupada here is talking about many various aspects in this purport, about uh, Brahmanas, how the kings should be guided by Brahmanas, and then he comes to the evolutionary process and talking about the modern evolutionary process and uh, previous Vedic process. And yeah, so these two aspects are mainly covered in this particular purport. So here we see that Lord Rishabdev, who is the best of all human beings, Rishabdev. So he is teaching his 100 sons. Actually, all of us are also his sons in the sense, Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. We are all his part and parcels. So we are also his children. So through his 100 sons, he is also teaching all of us. And here he is guiding them how to take care of themselves and also take care of all the citizens. So here in this particular translation, we see the various gradations or various levels of living entities. So as here it is mentioned, first the lowest is the dull matter, and from them comes the living entities like trees and plants which have living force, which are superior to dull matter. So like that the various gradations are given. So in the Padma Puran it is mentioned Jalaja Navalakshani Stavara Laksha Vimshati Krimayo Rudra Sankyatat Pakshinam Dasalakshanam Trimal Lakshani Parava Chatur Lakshani Manusha. So it mentions how there are 84 various lakhs of species. The 9 lakhs are living entities in the water, 20 lakhs are the trees and plants, 11 lakhs are the insects and reptiles, the 10 lakhs are the birds, and 30 lakhs are the animals, and 4 lakhs are the human beings. So when this is talked about the species, it's in terms of consciousness. When we say 4 lakhs human beings, it's not that there are 4 lakhs human beings. That's all. No, it is in terms of their consciousness. From most demonic uh, no, type of consciousness who are completely in ignorance to most elevated consciousness who are in Shuddha Sattva, completely Krishna conscious. So there are different gradations as per the consciousness. This is not in terms of no, as modern science talks about various species in terms of material, in material point of view, considering their whatever material qualities, patterns, uh, but it is in terms of their consciousness. So uh, so that is the difference between the modern now the Vedic theory of evolution and the modern theory of evolution. So we see that the modern theory of evolution, like Darwin's theory, mainly which we read in the schools and all. So it only talks about that the living entity comes because of combination of chemicals. The first unicellular organism comes by the combination of chemicals. So Prabhupada used to say that, okay, if you say that life has come from matter, so you can combine some chemicals and show whether you can produce life. He would appreciate His Holiness Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj, who would challenge the other scientists who didn't have faith in God, who would believe in these theories. So we never see such a thing happening. Although Prabhupada is talking about in this that it appears that life has come from matter in the purport is telling, but then again he is saying that actually that matter has come from the supreme living being. So in the sense, actually when you put any seed in earth, then only any plant comes, right? Now it may appear that the seed has no life, earth has no life, but actually the seed already has life. Sarva yoneshu kaunteya murtayanta sambhavantiya tasam brahma mahadyorir aham bija prajapitah. So Krishna is telling that I am the seed giving father for all the living entities. So he has created all these various species of life. He is the original seed giving father for all these living entities. So because Krishna has created that particular seed, and because it is kept in earth, then that's why it is growing, right? Now if we create anything seed on our own and put in earth, what will come? Nothing will come. Yeah, because we cannot create any species on our own. Krishna has to create, right? So that's why Prabhupada, we also have this book called Life Comes from Life. Because people generally think that life comes from matter, as the famous Darwin's theories talks about. So why Prabhupada was so much against this modern theory of evolution? People may have doubt that has he got something to take with Darwin, or why is he उनके पहले से कुछ there is some issue with both of them, or what? Why is he so much against this theory? So the reason is because Darwin's theory indirectly tells that there is no need of God for creating life. You just combine chemicals and you can produce life. So that means indirectly they are saying that there is no need of God to create life, right? So, but Prabhupada says life creates matter or chemicals, not that chemicals create life. He says like lemons, they produce citric acid, not that citric acid produces lemon seeds. Have you seen? We never saw that you combine some acids or chemicals, it produces some life, right? So that's why Prabhupada is very much against that theory of evolution. And we see that Darwin gives so many of his imaginations or speculations in the Darwin's theory. Like for example, we see he talking about how a zebra turns to giraffe, right? That when the zebra started eating the grass, and one point of time the grass is over, slowly it started eating the leaves on the branches, and that is also over. Then gradually it started eating the leaves which are higher parts of the tree. So slowly the neck started increasing and the zebra became giraffe. But according to him only, we see that he says also extinction of the previous species. theory of evolution says that from one species it should evaluate to another species and the previous species should be extinct. But again we see that both species are existing. So this is one example, but there are so many examples which appear to be very good stories for children. We have in Telugu this Chandamama Katalu. So it appears very nice for children, but we don't see such a thing happening in real life, right? So, so that's why Prabhupada is very much against this, that people become agnostic and they don't believe in God. And then if there is no God, what is the problem? Then you can do whatever you like. Hedonistic life means you can do whatever you like. You need, there is no God, then there is no rules to be followed given by God. Then you just eat, drink and enjoy. Do whatever you like. So then people will become very, very materialistic. Will get into complete sense gratification. So that's what uh, uh, Krishna doesn't want that. So that's why Prabhupada is very strongly preaching against Darwin. So Prabhupada used to say that maybe this Darwin came from monkeys. Maybe his forefather is monkey, but not my my forefathers. My forefathers are all great sages like Narada, Asita, Devala, Vyasa, and these are all great sages. Our predecessors are actually all these great sages. Not that we have come from monkeys, right? So that is a wrong conception. So here the various gradations of consciousness is being mentioned. So we see that even in the living entities there are various categories, 4 lakh species of life. So there are Paka Karmis or materialistic people who are completely engaged in sense gratification. Then there are Karma Kandis who may perform various Karma Kanda activities as per the scriptures to get some fruitive results. And then gradually one may uh, be elevated to Karma Yoga where one may try to offer the results to God. So like that, the living entity, as Prabhupada is mentioning, gradually may evaluate himself through the various forms of yoga and finally reach to Bhakti Yoga. So, but even amongst the devotees, there are various gradations. Like in Nectar of Instruction itself, it is mentioned how amongst all the devotees, Srimati Radharani is the best of all the devotees. So we see that among in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, where um, this what is his name? He starts searching for Gopakumar, who is the best devotee. So he meets various devotees, and finally he also, each of them they actually tell that how they are not the best devotees, and he also comes to the final conclusion that how the gopis are the highest of all the devotees in terms of consciousness and devotion. So even in Nectar of Devotion, Srila Rupa Goswami helps us to gradually elevate our consciousness. Ado Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishta Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, Prem, all these different stages. So, a living entity who is interested in devotional service or who comes in contact with devotees, so he may have little faith from his previous life. So because of that Shraddha, he may come in the association of devotees and he may start performing devotional service slowly in the association. So like that he gradually elevates himself. So while performing devotional service, actually Srila Rupa Goswami, in his Upadesha Amrit, Nectar of Instruction, actually these 11 verses also help us to gradually elevate from Ado Shraddha to Prema, if we follow those 11 verses very strictly in our life. So if you see carefully those 11 verses, the first 3 verses mainly talk about controlling one's senses and accepting which are favorable for devotional service and rejecting which is unfavorable for devotional service. Vacho Vegam, Manasa, Krodha Vegam, all this. There are 6 urges which are meant to be controlled. And second, third verse talks about what is unfavorable and what is favorable, what we should accept, what we should reject. Then he talks about dealing with devotees in the next 3 verses, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Tadati, Pratagranati, all that. So, why is Rupa Goswami speaking this or giving these verses in that order? Upadeshamrit means the nectar of all instructions, right? Nectar of instruction, right? Means this is the most vital or the essence of all the scriptures, as we sing in the this Goswam Ashtakam. What is this? Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipuno Saddharma Samstapani. So they have studied all the scriptures and they have given the essence. So so these 11 verses are very, very vital for the sadhakas. So why the 4th, 5th and 6th verses are given in that order? Because when you come in the association of devotees, so if you don't control your urges, you don't control your senses, then instead of taking advantage of their association, we may actually offend them, or we may not be able to take advantage. Now, for example, Vacho Vegam, Manasa, Krodha Vegam means the urge to control the anger, right? So, or Vacho Vegam, the urge of speech. So, if one is not controlling these urges and gets into the association of devotees, so instead of actually taking advantage of the association, he may actually offend them by speaking angrily, or Manasa Vegam, if his mind is not attentive, controlled. So even if he is hearing, he may not be able to hear. Means even if he is physically sitting in the class, he may not be able to take advantage because his mind is not controlled. So that's why if we follow the first 3 verses properly, then you will be able to take advantage of the association of devotees. So then Rupa Goswami mentions what we are supposed to do in the association of devotees. Dadati pratigranati guyamakati prichati bhunkte bojayate chaiva shadvidi priti lakshanam. So and then he talks about 3 categories of devotees: Kanishta, Uttama, Madhyama, and how we should deal with them also is mentioned. Like he mentions how with Uttam Adhikaris one should serve them faithfully, and submissively serve, take their instructions and submissively serve them. So, but until you follow the 3 verses, will not be able to take advantage of this association. And if you follow this first 6 verses, then following the 7th and 8th verse becomes easy. The 7th verse talks about chanting the holy names without offenses. So, like we see when we chant also, if our mind and senses are not controlled, and if we had some quarrel with some devotees, or if we have not dealt with devotees properly, then we see that we cannot chant also properly, right? Our mind is wandering, or there is uh, uh, some remembrance of that quarrel which comes while chanting, right? So that's why if we can follow those 6 verses properly, then the seventh verse, following the seventh verse becomes easy. The eighth verse, Rupa Goswami talks about how one should constantly engage himself 24 hours in Krishna consciousness, so that you can achieve prema, right? So, but then means one may not be able to immediately come to that stage of constantly engaging, but one can at least endeavor. So then if you follow these 8 verses sincerely putting efforts, then the 9th, 10th and 11th verse actually means you will be eligible or qualified no, to do that. Because in the 10th, 11th verse, Rupa Goswami talks about staying at Radha Kund, no, constantly engaged in devotional service. But some people artificially try to follow the 10th and 11th verse, staying at Radha Kund. But those who actually follow the first 8 verses and fulfill those instructions, they are only qualified to follow the remaining last 2 verses. So, first one should sincerely follow the instructions of spiritual master and under their guidance render devotional service. If you see Srila Prabhupada, in most of the purports, he always mentions that one should render devotional service under the guidance of spiritual master, not under the guidance of one's mind, right? Under the guidance of spiritual master. Because many times we follow what we like, even in devotional service. Because I like this, I will do that. But that is not devotional service. Devotional service means under the direction of spiritual master. So that should be very clear for us. Even though we may or may not like, spiritual life means it's not whether we like or not. Whether we may or may not like to render those activities or render that particular type of service. But if spiritual master and Krishna likes, even our false ego may say no, but still we have to do that to please them. So our conditioned mind may come in between, but we should neglect that conditioned mind, put it aside, because we are not the conditioned mind, right? We are pure spirit souls, but we are unnecessarily following or becoming slave of our minds. That is a problem, right? We are not this gross body, and we are also not this subtle body also. We are not the mind, right? But we imagine or think that we are this mind and we just follow whatever mind says. But we are supposed to follow Guru, Krishna, and Vaishnavas or Shastras, right? So, uh, if you follow that, then gradually our consciousness will be elevated from mode of ignorance to mode of goodness, and gradually to pure goodness by that association of devotees. So then Prabhupada is talking about Brahmanas here, how they are very dear to the Supreme Lord. So he's saying that how in the past the kings were guided by the Brahmanas. So that's why they were known as Raja Rishi. They are not just known as Raja, king. They were Raja Rishis, saintly kings. Because they were following the saints, that's why they are saintly kings. Now they are following their mind, right? Their mind, their whatever their mind senses say. So that's why they are not proper leaders. They are just leading everyone to hell. Blind lead the blind, both fall in ditch. So previously the leaders were selected by the Brahmanas, Prabhupada is mentioning, because they know who is the right person or who can lead the kingdom properly. But now the leader is chosen by common men, common people who don't know what is right and what is wrong, because their mind is not in control. They are not following the scriptures. They don't know who is whatever, whoever gives me sense gratification, they are my leaders. That's how people are choosing. Whoever gives me money or one bottle beer or whatever, uh, they are my leaders. So then leaders are also like that. Uh, so and then later people lament that, oh, why these people are creating so much problem, or why is there is so much tax on us. Uh, because you have chosen such wrong leaders, then that's why you need to suffer. Not only they trouble us, but because the false leaders create all kinds of wrong situations, uh, and perform all kinds of sinful activities, so then Mother Nature also reacts, right? And then there will be so many problems in the society, means in this world. That's what we see. uh, uh, so many ways people are getting troubled through Mother Nature. So instead, one should actually choose a proper leader based on the guidance of the Brahmanas. And then when that king gets properly guided by this Brahmanas, he will rule the kingdom as per the scriptural injunctions. Then people will be happy. So Prabhupada says people want Ramaraja without Lord Ram. Huh? Means they want to enjoy all the opulences of no, like Ramaraj. When Lord Ram was there, everything was very opulent. Huh? There are so many opulences. So people want to enjoy those opulences, but they don't want Lord Ram. Means they don't want to follow the injunctions given by Lord Ram. Somebody may say, oh, no, I also want Lord Ram. Yeah, if you want Lord Ram, means you should also follow his instructions. People saying that, oh, I am also following Sanatan Dharma, or I am also devotee of Lord Krishna or Lord Ram. Just by saying, we don't become devotee. We have to follow their instructions. First, we should know what is their instruction. Many don't know also what is there in Bhagavad Gita, right? So first you should know those instructions, and then you should also follow those instructions sincerely in your life. Then uh, we can say that we are at least endeavoring to become a devotee of the Lord, right? But many people in this world, they just want to claim that we are devotees of Lord, right? Without actually following. Huh? So, um, so yeah, Prabhupada is mentioning that how if the king is proper, then the whole people under the kingdom will be educated in Krishna consciousness, and they all will be liberated. Uh, so otherwise they will all suffer. So Prabhupada, that's why would always try to preach to the leaders of society. If you see that he would always write letters to various politicians like Gandhiji and all. He would try to meet Indira Gandhi, Lal Bahadur Shastri, so many leaders. Why? Because he thought that if these leaders in the society change, then Yada Raja, Tada Praja. The people also can change. So it is very important that we should also endeavor some part of our energy to preach to the leaders of the society who are influential, so that they can help in changing many people in the society. So that's what here in this particular verse Lord Rishabdev is telling, how there are different living entities. There is various gradations in the living entities as per their consciousness. And we discussed how there is a difference between the modern evolutionary process and the Vedic process of evolution. And we discussed about how we can also elevate our consciousness by following nectar of devotion and the instructions, nectar of instructions given by Rupa Goswami. And finally, we discussed about how the Brahmanas are the heads of the society, and they should be deciding the leaders in the society so that they can properly guide the society. So these are few things we discussed today. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Sai Gaur Premanande Hare.